time, the classic chocolate-glazed wheel donut. Forget the store-bought versions, we're diving deep into the art of making these beauties from scratch. We'll cover everything from creating the perfect soft and fluffy dough to achieving that satisfying golden brown fry, and finally dipping them into a rich, glossy, homemade chocolate glaze. By the end of this video, you'll have all the skills you need to fill your home with the incredible aroma of fresh donuts and impress everyone you know. So, if you're ready to turn simple ingredients into pure edible joy, let's get our aprons on and start baking. First things first, let's talk about our ingredients. The magic of a great donut starts with a great dough. For this, you'll need all-purpose flour, granulated sugar for a touch of sweetness, active dry yeast to give our donuts that signature airy lift, and a pinch of salt to balance all the flavors. For the wet ingredients, we'll be using lukewarm milk, which is crucial for activating the yeast. We'll also need a couple of large eggs for richness and structure, and some melted unsalted butter to make the dough tender and flavorful. For the frying part, a neutral oil with a high smoke point is key. I recommend using canola or vegetable oil. And for that irresistible final touch, our chocolate glaze, you'll need powdered sugar, unsweetened cocoa powder, a little bit of milk or cream, and a splash of vanilla extract. Make sure all your ingredients are at room temperature, especially the eggs and milk, as this helps the dough come together smoothly. Now, let's bring this dough to life. In a large mixing bowl, or the bowl of your stand mixer, we'll start by activating our yeast. Combine the lukewarm milk, a teaspoon of the sugar, and the active dry yeast. Give it a gentle stir and let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. You're looking for it to get foamy and bubbly. That's how you know your yeast is alive and ready to work its magic. Once your yeast is activated, add the remaining sugar, the melted butter, and the eggs. Whisk them all together until they're well combined. Now, in a separate bowl, whisk together your flour and salt. Gradually add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients, mixing on a low speed. If you're using a stand mixer, switch to the dough hook attachment. If you're doing this by hand, get ready for a little arm workout. We're going to knead this dough for about 8 to 10 minutes. You want to develop that gluten, which is what gives the donuts their wonderful chewy and soft texture. The dough should be smooth, elastic, and slightly sticky to the touch. Once it's perfectly kneaded, form it into a ball and place it in a lightly greased bowl. Cover it with a clean kitchen towel or plastic wrap and place it in a warm, draft-free spot to rise. This is the first proof, and it's a game of patience. It'll take about 1 to 1.5 hours for the dough to double in size. This slow rise is what builds all that amazing flavor and creates that light, airy interior we're all after. So find a cozy spot for your dough and let it do its thing. All right, our dough has beautifully doubled in size. Look at that. Now, gently punch it down to release the air. Turn it out onto a lightly floured surface. We don't want to add too much extra flour, just enough to prevent sticking. Roll out the dough until it's about half an inch thick. This thickness is important. If it's too thin, your donuts won't be fluffy, and if it's too thick, they might not cook all the way through. Now for the fun part, cutting the donuts. I am using a 3-inch round cutter for the main shape and a 1-inch cutter for the center hole. If you don't have donut cutters, no problem. You can use a glass and a bottle cap. Press firmly to get clean cuts. Place your cut-out donuts and the donut holes onto a parchment-lined baking sheet. Don't throw away those donut holes. Have you ever felt like the world was holding its breath? Just a few years ago, an invisible threat brought our bustling cities to a standstill, closed borders, and changed the way we live, work, and connect. That crisis revealed a stark truth. Our global health systems, for all their advancements, were fragile. But what if I told you that from the ashes of that crisis, a new blueprint for a stronger, more resilient future is emerging? What if we could move from a state of constant reaction to one of proactive control? Today, we're rediving deep into the incredible global strategies being built to ensure we were never caught off guard again. This is the story of our journey from crisis to control. Let's start with the first line of defense: surveillance. Think of it as a global neighborhood watch, but for pathogens. In the past, information about a new disease outbreak could take weeks to travel across the world. By then, it was often too late. Now, we're building a hyper-connected network. Scientists are using cutting-edge genomic sequencing to identify new viruses in a matter of hours, not weeks. They can literally read a virus's genetic code, understand its origins, and predict how it might spread. This data is then shared instantly on global platforms, allowing public health officials everywhere to see a potential threat in real time. It's like having a global weather forecast for diseases, giving us the precious time we need to prepare and respond before a spark becomes a wildfire. This isn't science fiction. This is the new reality of public health. But knowing a storm is coming is only half the battle. You also need a strong shelter. That's where strengthening our health systems comes in. A resilient health system isn't just about having shiny hospitals and advanced equipment. It's about the people, the doctors, nurses, and community health workers who are the backbone of care. It's about having enough beds, ventilators, and essential medicines ready and waiting. Countries are now stress testing their healthcare infrastructure, much like engineers test a bridge's strength. They're investing in training for healthcare professionals, building up stockpiles of critical supplies, and ensuring that even the most remote communities have access to primary care. The goal is simple: to build a system with surge capacity, the ability to flex and expand rapidly during an emergency without collapsing under the pressure. It's about ensuring that everyone, everywhere, has a fighting chance. Now, let us talk about one of the most incredible scientific triumphs of our time: rapid vaccine and therapeutic development. During the last pandemic, we witnessed the creation of safe and effective vaccines in record time. A process that used to take a decade was compressed into less than a year. How was this possible? Through groundbreaking platforms like mRNA technology. Think of mRNA as a set of instructions we can give our cells to build a defense against a specific virus. The beauty of this technology is its plug-and-play nature. Once scientists have the genetic code of a new virus, they can quickly design a new mRNA instruction set and slot it into the existing vaccine framework. Organizations like CEPI, the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, are now working towards a 100-day mission to have a new vaccine ready for initial deployment within 100 days of identifying a new pandemic threat. This completely changes the game, giving us the power to develop a shield almost as fast as a new threat emerges. Of course, none of this works in a vacuum. A virus doesn't care about borders, and neither can our response. This is where global collaboration becomes non-negotiable. We're seeing a new era of health diplomacy. Organizations like the World Health Organization are being empowered to better coordinate global responses, ensuring that science, not politics, leads the way. Countries are forming regional partnerships to share resources, data, and expertise. This spirit of "we're all in this together" extends to manufacturing as well. Instead of concentrating vaccine and medicine production in just a few countries, we're moving towards a more distributed model. New manufacturing hubs are being established in Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia. This not only makes supply chains more robust, but also ensures more equitable access for everyone. A threat anywhere is a threat everywhere, and a solution must be available to everyone, everywhere. Perhaps the most crucial piece of the puzzle, though, is you. It's us. It's our communities. A government can have the best plans in the world, but they won't work without public trust and participation. Building health resilience starts at the grassroots level. It's about clear, honest communication from public health officials. So we all understand the why behind a recommendation. It's about tackling misinformation head-on with facts and empathy. It's about empowering community leaders, teachers, and local organizations to become trusted messengers of health information. When people feel informed and engaged, they are more likely to adopt protective behaviors, support public health measures, and look out for one another. A resilient society is one where every individual understands their role in protecting the collective health. It's a social contract where we all agree to act for the greater good, creating a powerful, unified front against any health threat. So, where do we go from here? The journey from crisis to control is not a destination. It's a continuous process of learning, adapting, and innovating. We've learned hard lessons about our vulnerabilities, but we've also discovered our incredible capacity for resilience and ingenuity. The strategies we've discussed today: advanced surveillance, stronger health systems, rapid medical innovation, global cooperation, and community empowerment are the building blocks of a safer future. It requires sustained investment, political will, and a shared commitment from all of us. The memory of the last crisis should not be a source of fear, but a catalyst for action. It's a reminder that by working together, we can build a world that is not just prepared for the next health challenge, but one that is healthier, more equitable, and more resilient for generations to come. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into our global health future. The path ahead is challenging, but I hope you feel as inspired and hopeful as I do. If you found this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next exploration. What are your thoughts on building a more resilient world? Let me know in the comments below. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe.